These type of things can ruin your career. What up, YouTube? Today we're talking about Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis, who went viral after they sent support letters to Danny Masterson, who's recently not only been charged, prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, and found guilty of being a rapist. And they thought it was a good idea. They thought that the internet was just going to not act like that they sent support letters to a whole rapist, and they waited a whole day until they decided to give their response and rebuttal to this.
We are aware of the pain that has been caused by the character letters that we wrote on behalf of Danny Masterson.
We support victims. We have done this historically through our work and will continue to do so in the future.
A couple months ago, Danny's family reached out to us and they asked us to write character letters to represent the person that we knew for 25 years so that the judge could take that into full consideration relative to the sentencing.
The letters were not written to question the legitimacy of the judicial system or the validity of the jury's ruling.
They were intended for the judge to read and not to undermine the testimony of the victims or re-traumatize them in any way. We would never want to do that. And we're sorry if that has taken place.
Our heart goes out to every single person who's ever been a victim.
And when they asked you, you should have said politely no, because we got a career to think about. We still got to pay the bills, and these type of things can ruin your career. But if we're going to be honest about something, Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher haven't really been at the forefront of Hollywood, let's just say. They're not the first thing you think about when it comes to the latest and greatest Hollywood movies that's been out. They're not. They've had wonderful careers in the past, but where they at now is really how we're looking at them. Part of me wants to say they knew what they were doing, but if you have a PR team and your PR rep decided it was a good idea to put this out with that without even thinking or taking into account the backlash that would ensue beforehand, is nuts. And that person should be fired and replaced swiftly and quickly. But I think this very reason why they sent these support letters isn't because of support for their friend Danny Masterson. I think it has more to do with the fact that they're both at the sunset phase of their careers. Both Mila, both Ashton are at the sunset phase of their careers. They're not at the peak of their careers. And when you really think about it, how come we never seen them be so publicly wanting to send support letters for rapists and come off as great apologists in the limelight when they was really trying to get their careers on the up and up in the early 2000s, or hell, even when they got older and throughout the late 2000s and 2010s, you didn't see or hear none of this. You know why? Because they was trying to get as much money as possible and doing what they had to do to keep their mouths shut. And they're probably more than likely at that position where they feel like, yo, we can do whatever we want because we're not really acting anymore. We're damn near semi-retired, so ain't nobody gonna really care. Or that's what they thought. The actors who portrayed Red and Kitty on that 70s show also sent support letters, but again, they're retired. They probably are just bored out their minds and just sending support letters on behalf of him. And, you know, of course, you got to understand they're old fashioned, so they're not going to be like looking into this internet stuff all that much. They practically don't care. And both of them are past their sunset phase. They're just at the retired phase, just don't care. And let me try to elaborate on what I'm meaning. When you're growing, trying to build a brand, trying to become a superstar in the industry, in the film industry, music industry, hell, even in the content creation game, keep your head down, you keep your nose clean at all times. And then you have certain people who feel like, yo, I want to get to a point where I'm making millions of dollars. Now I can say whatever and do what I want and think this money is not going to dry up at some point. And then be wondering why there be comments like, you fell off, little bro, in the comments. And I can use a plethora of examples. Just look at somebody like DJ Academics. Even though some would argue ever since he's been known in the hip hop industry, he has been controversial, but I feel like now he may be at that stage where he's like, look, I don't care who gets offended. I'm going to say what I want because I write my own checks. I'm making millions of dollars. Where years ago, he would have kept his mouth shut about a lot of things because he wanted to chase that $1 million bag. Now, granted, there's still some things he's not willing to even touch, like anything to do with the LGBTQ community or the Jewish community. He's not trying to touch that with a 10-foot cattle prod because he knows they're the puppet masters. And then you got his partners in crime, Fresh and Fit. Same can be said. They wasn't trying to platform people like Nick Fuentes when they was at 20K, 30K, probably wasn't getting that many views and trying to chase millions. They wasn't trying to say all these radical things about women that they have done in the past. And you fast forward to now, after they done made their millions, now they feel like, yo, I can say whatever I want. I don't care if my YouTube channel that I bust my ass for 3 years just goes up in smoke. As long as I got my $1 million and I can run out of a burning building that I bust my ass to build up brick by brick. And for that very reason, I'll still stand 10 toes on this when I say this. Fresh and Fit never cared about their content or their channel, because if they did, they would have kept their mouth shut a long time ago and still be in the partner program. But them days are long gone. And at this point, don't matter who they respond to, who they talk about, what they try to do, what allegations they try to bring up on people, or things that they may feel like can be a bit of a weak spot and insecurity against somebody, it's not going to get them back in the partner program. If anything, it'll just be another added bullet point to the reasons why you're never getting back in. The lesson that can be learned is you don't want to keep your head down and nose clean until you start making millions of dollars, then just feel like you could do whatever and think you could just let everything you worked hard for just turn into cinders. Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis not caring enough about their careers to watch what they say, do, post online to make sure they keep their mouth shut and nose clean up until the point they retire, and even past retirement, just still be quiet. I'm not saying don't be opinionated, just water stuff down and you'll be fine. Y'all tell me what you think about this mess in the comments below. And until next time, I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.